My father, he was crazy for cars. Motorsport is definitely in our blood. My uncle, he used to rally with my father, and my dad also built rally cars for a living. My brothers, both car mad. As soon as they were old enough, they were building cars for rallying.
It was just kind of in the blood from day one. We had no other choice, only go down the route of cars and loved them, loved working on them, loved building them, loved maintaining them, just enjoy my job really. I was rallying a Mark 1 before it, and I came across this shell. There wasn't a nut bolt or a washer on it, so we bought it and proceeded to build it over a small period of time. So everything had to be done: engine, gearbox, axle, suspension, brakes, wiring, and put it all together and started competing with it, and we'd lots of great finishes, and we'd lots of good memories with it. It's a 16 valve engine that we built. We put their steel rods and JE pistons, high lift cams, ported and polished the head, and it's revving to kind of 9,500 revs, happy out. It's a fully floating Atlas with a Watts linkage. It keeps the car sturdy, more or less. It keeps the axle from going left to right. I haven't used the car in anger with, I suppose, nearly 10 years, I'd say it's been parked up. I had a sequential box there for it, and seeing that we were going to go down for a spin, we decided Saturday evening, why not stick it in and see what it was like. The one thing about Rally Connection, you know, where it really gets your skills down to a fine art, because it is like actually drifting on the road. It's an unbelievable sensation. Like you've the back of it and kind of rubbing off one ditch and the front of it rubbing off the other, and you'd want to be a step ahead of yourself. One wrong move and it could end fairly fairly nasty, but geez, it's a very enjoyable track. You come out there, you'd be buzzing, in all fairness. My father and Jimmy, my uncle, they'd have been very quick rallying in their day, and they wouldn't have had the best of gear, but like a good engine and good handling car, they used to get very good results. They're competing in a rally, doing quite well, leading their class, I think. Halfway through one of the stages, the throttle cable snapped in the car, so my dad is a brave man, I think a lot crazier than I am. Decided to pull the bonnet off, throw the bonnet over the ditch into a field, and he sat up in the bulkhead and controlled the throttle with his fingers.
And there was two Welsh guys past us with a 2-litre Sunbeam. Now we were in a 1600 class, and 8 miles into the stage we caught him and passed him. And they just, at the end of the stage, the driver came up to me and he says, "Yeah, I've seen it all now," he said.
They got banned, or they got their result taken from them because of breaking rules. I think it was because he wasn't wearing his harness or something like that.
Myself and Jimmy, my brother, we were brought up on motorbikes before we got cars, so it was nothing new to me to be out in the fresh air with a helmet, going flat out. When the drifting started, to be quite honest, I thought it was just something I'd no interest really. Mike done a good bit of it and won a few trophies, and they were saying, "Dad, can't you come?" When I got to understand what they were doing, it was very technical, you know, but up to that I thought it was just something messy, but when you see it laid out and you understand the clipping points, and it's very skilled.
About 2 months ago, I got a phone call from the Pro Drift Academy Middle East, and they wanted us to try to beat a world record for longest tandem drift, so 2 cars side by side for as long as possible. There was no record set yet, but Guinness don't make it too easy for any record to be set, so they set a target of 25 kilometres to beat. One run is just about 30-40 seconds long, so drifting for 30-40 minutes is a big difference. There's a lot of issues we had, like keeping the cars cool, making the tyres last. The cars were left-hand drive also, so that was a first for me. I never drifted left-hand drive before. Another big issue we had was the heat. Obviously we're in the desert in full racing suits. I had the heater on to the max in the car to help keep it cool as well. And we also fitted water tankers in the boot to spray water on the radiator and oil coolers. Keeping your focus and your concentration for that long was really tough, and there was so much going on all the time. You were steering, left foot braking, handbrake, steering, left foot braking, handbrake, transitions. It was really tough, but yeah, I managed to do 28.5 kilometers without stopping. So we broke the record, and that was a completely new experience for me, and definitely nice to do something outside of your usual competitive drifting.
Whether it's a practice day, it's a fun spin like yesterday or whatever, it's just he's not happy unless he's 100%.
James pushes himself a lot, and I think he honestly believes that this sport is only starting, really.
Yeah, I suppose with the success he's had, it's going to be hard to top it, but somehow he just keeps on pulling stuff out of the bag, really. God only knows what'll come next.